This is something my pastor says a lot, and that we really been seeing unfold recently. Said God's work done God's way will never lack God's supply. God's work done God's way will never lack God's supply. Because I know we get, okay, this is God's work, but then we want to do it our way. But we want to beg supply. But no, say God's work done God's way will never lack God's supply. And a lot of times we wait for the supply or all the money before we even will start. But no, we got to be doing the free, which is the planning, the writing it down, getting the strategy, allowing it to unfold, and then beginning to take the steps to do it. And as we're working toward the vision, we will enter into the provision for every step. Just like when you drive a car, trying to go from here to New York. You can't put all the gas in your car that you need to get in New York, right here in Rockledge, Florida. It ain't happening. You have to believe that when you get to certain milestones in the journey, that there'll be a gas station there and you'll be able to refill your car. So I would say, don't wait. Begin to plan, begin to do what is in your hand to be able to do. You know, we talk about, oh, it's, you know, start a business, start this, whatever. Do the part that you could do, because everything's in phases. So you have to, you know, just to get the business license, that's a phase. To get the logo, that's a phase. But before you do any of that, you got to do the planning. What's the name going to be? What is the mission? What is the purpose? What am I doing? All that stuff is free. And as we're doing that free planning, David said, all this came, but when I sat down to write it by the hand, you know, we don't like to write anymore. Well, we got to by the hand. When we sit down and we take that time and we direct our thoughts into the planning, God will give each step for the blueprint, and then we'll see where the resources and stuff are. So God's work done God's way will never lack God's supply.
Man, that's good. I don't know. Lately, I would say, just remember what God said. Thinking about this just being such an intense season of warfare. I've really been on, it is written. Just remind the enemy, it is written. And just remembering what God said. Remembering what God said. You know, what he said trumps everything. That's what I've been with. Just reminded myself, you know. And so it is written. It is written. Let those be the words that you speak to remind yourself and to even speak to the enemy. It is written.
Yeah, and then move from there.